Center number 52, James Hamblin. On defense, number 24, Travis Dermott. And number 49, Ty Emberson. And starting at goal, number 35, Olivier Rodriguez.
Danse, hello to all people of Turtle Island. As Chief, I welcome you here to Treaty 6 territory. This land has been traditional Region 4 homeland for the Métis people of Alberta, the Inuit and ancestral territory of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, and Nakota Sioux people since time immemorial. The recognition of our history on this land is an act of reconciliation, and we honor those who walk with us. Thank you, Kinenaskumtnao.
On August 29th, the hockey world tragically lost brothers Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. The Edmonton Oilers organization sends our condolences to the Gaudreau family and all of those impacted by this loss. Please join us as we pay tribute to the family, followed by a 13-second moment of silence.
Today, we honor the memories of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. Whether it was on the ice or in the community, if you were fortunate enough to cross paths with the Gaudreau brothers, you were better for it. Johnny earned the nickname Johnny Hockey for his goals, assists, and electrifying rushes. But what truly made him special is how he touched people off the ice. As a friend, teammate, husband, father, and brother. Together, Johnny and Matthew shared a deep devotion to our game and to each other, as theirs was an inseparable bond as brothers, friends, and teammates. They proved time and again what matters most in the game of hockey and in life isn't measured by inches or pounds, but by character, heart, and passion.
And now we ask you to please remain standing, remove your hats, and join the singing voice of your Edmonton Oilers, Robert Clark, in the performance of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
weeks have elapsed since the Edmonton Oilers climbed off their plane from Florida in defeat after a Game 7 loss to the Panthers by a score of 2-1. Now a new season upon us. Preseason game number 1 with decidedly different lineups. But 24-25 has arrived, and it's next. Live from Rogers Place alongside Bob Stauffer, I'm Jack Michaels from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. We've got Coventry Homes starting lineups for you. It'll be James Hamblin in the middle, Matt Savoy on the right side, and Vasily Podkolzin on the left. We are underway with Winnipeg controlling the opening draw. The Jets preseason roster, like the Oilers, pretty light on players expected to be NHL regulars. Ty Emberson and Travis Dermott on defense for Edmonton, and it's a blast from Logan Stanley that finds its way through 17 seconds into the hockey game. It did not appear as though Edmonton starter Olivier Rodrigue had a clean look.
Well, I got a little bit of a flyby in front of the net, and I may have been just making a guess here. May have been David Gustafsson on the deflection of the shot as he was being tied up. Puck came back to the left point. Stanley got a lot on it, and it's going to be Gustafsson's goal. There's nothing that Rodrigue can do on that. Just a real good deflection.
Off his midsection, I'm not sure, Bob, there was a whole lot of intent there. As you said, a drive-by by Gustafsson. It deflects past Olivier Rodrigue, and 17 seconds in, David Gustafsson, who went 4 years between NHL goals, puts the Jets on the board. Now Stanley off another Oiler turnover with a quick feed across to Kevin He, but his shot was stymied, and now digging it out of the corner, the Oilers' first-round pick from this summer, Sam O'Reilly, played up the left-hand side by Ben Gleason, who had a good camp last year, and retrieved by He at his own blue line for the Winnipeg Jets. Traveling right to left, they're in the white outline in blue. The Oilers in their home blue sweaters with orange and white trim. Noah Philp took a year off from pro hockey after a very promising first year in Bakersfield, where he finished with 19 goals. Tied for third on the club. The Oilers bottled in after a Winnipeg dump in. It's laid off the boards and out, and on the attack and offside, Noah Philp. Mike Hoffman here on a PTO was guilty of an offside, and Hoffman, who will turn 35 in November, Bob, looking to, if not crack the Edmonton roster, at least attract some attention from around the league. He was a guy for 6 straight years. You could combine, you could look at his goal scoring total and know he's somewhere between 25 and 30.
Yeah, absolutely. At a career high 36 1 year. He's always been a finisher. He's great one-timer of the puck.
Twice 29. Emberson off the draw in the neutral zone, and it's spilled in by the Oilers, and the Laguna Beach product, James Stefan, pursues up the right-hand side. Eventually cleared, however, by Kieran Walton of Winnipeg, and now Rasmus Kapari, one of the players involved in the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, will dish off left-hand side.
That was a good trade for Winnipeg. Not so good for L.A.
Anhorn coughed it up. Pierre-Luc Dubois, though, has been since moved by the Kings. They did a good job getting him out of there, in my opinion, Bob.
Yes.
Offloading him to Washington and getting back a reasonable guy with an L.A. history in the process, and goaltender Darcy Kemper, who did not have his best stuff in the U.S. Capitol. Meanwhile, the Oilers in their own zone, a quick dish ahead, and Cam Wright burst down the middle, poke checked away by the 6'7" Stanley, whose shot deflected in by Gustafsson 17 seconds in, and Winnipeg with a 1-0 lead. Up the right-hand side, Zhilkin, and Ben King defended by Ben Gleason. Danny Zhilkin back to the point for Stanley. Across to Dylan Coghlan. His shot deflected wide. Coghlan has spent some time with some winning organizations during his time in the NHL, Vegas and Carolina. Up the left-hand side, Daniel Torgerson, and shoveled in deep once again by Stanley. Cam Dineen up the left-hand side for Edmonton. A breakout for the Oilers to center. Talked about your starting lineup, once again brought to you this season by Coventry Homes. Fired across by James Hamblin, now wearing 52. Here's a shot from the point by Connor Carrick, who played several years in the NHL with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that deflected off the glass and out of play. 3 minutes gone by in the first period. So you talked about the makeup of the rosters tonight. Bob, I mean, Edmonton probably has 3 guys that you can count on as being Oiler regulars this year. I'm not sure Winnipeg has any. Not one in their lineup, including goaltender Eric Comrie, who's competing for the backup job with Capo Kakkonen. So I ask you then, what's on the line here for both clubs?
Mike Logan Stanley, as you know, will be probably with the Jets, but he constantly got.
I'm talking about opening line lineup.
Yep. When the two teams meet again, it's about opportunity getting your, there's some debate on the right side. Where's Emerson going to play? Josh Brown, who gets the upper hand there. And a bit of a wild card at fourth line right center for Edmonton as well.
And the Jets have 5 or 6 guys who, as you mentioned, may make the roster, but no guarantee they're in the lineup. Here's O'Reilly down the middle, and he scores with a wrist shot, beating Eric Comrie. And the Oilers have tied it up with the 32nd overall pick. As his first as an Oiler, finding room down the seam, and then beating Eric Comrie cleanly. 1-1.
Well, one of the issues that Edmonton had in Penticton is they didn't have defense that could get the puck up the ice. And there's a great stretch pass that hit O'Reilly and created the time and space, and away he went. And O'Reilly shifted from his backhand and quickly stuck. He's a right shot and got a good shot on net. This is a guy that could have a big year with the London Knights this year, but what a start for him after, frankly, a quiet time in Penticton.
I think that was Cam Dineen on the stretch play, Bob.
Yeah.
And the Oilers have tied the game. And you were talking about the Oilers. They may not have some headline grabbers on defense this year, but there's a lot of depth.
They got a lot of depth.
That's more so Edmonton Bakersfield in terms of if there's injuries, you've got guys who played NHL games that could come up. Jets on the move off the draw. Dominic Toninato, who's bounced back and forth from the Jets to the Manitoba Moose the last couple of seasons. Worked in deep. And the Jets will control in their own zone. Coughlin up the middle. That one off a stick, retrieved by Ben Gleason. Give Carrick a second assist on the scoring play. Sam O'Reilly, his first in Oilers Silks. As Bob mentioned, coming off his first full season in the Ontario Hockey League with the London Knights, where he was a teammate of William Nickel, who tonight dresses for the Oilers on their fourth line. A dump in by the Jets, a clear by Josh Brown up the right-hand side. Backtracking is Kapari. He'll lay it cross ice. That turns into a giveaway. Kapari then steps up, held in by James Hamblin in the offensive zone for Edmonton. The Oilers working left to right in this first period of play. 2 goals in the first 3.5 minutes, 1 for each side. Here's a backhander that's blocked out to Connor Carrick, and his shot from distance was deflected. But Colson on it for Edmonton. And now a shot by Dineen does not make its way through. But Colson snatches the deflection. Hamblin lets it drift back to the point. Carrick loading up, doesn't shoot. Got it back on a deflected pass, then tried to go short side. And that was intercepted and cleared by Kieran Walton of Winnipeg. Dineen for the Oilers. Connor Carrick drifts in right-hand side, now lets fly, and a save made by Comrie, whose best game ever in the NHL was in this building when he stopped 46 shots as a Buffalo Sabre a couple of falls ago. But he just did not have it at the National Hockey League level last year for Buffalo, and they needed him. And he just had an off year, 2-7, 874 save percentage, and now he and Kakkonen will compete for the backup draw. And Bob, as you know, Kakkonen's coming off a tough year as well, and he gave up 5 goals last night in Winnipeg's opening preseason loss to Minnesota.
Well, I got a pretty good starter in Winnipeg, John.
Connor Hellebuck. Well, we'll talk more about him in a second. Emerson lets a shot fly. That's deflected. But Colson behind the net. He'll shovel it out to the point, and Travis Dermott lays it down low for James Hamblin, pinned against the boards. And now on that retrieval is Matt Savoy. Acquired, heeled one wide. It went right to an open man, and then in turn, shot deflected. Emerson had a look, and Comrie flicked it away. On the puck for Winnipeg, controlling is Ashton Sautner. Won a Memorial Cup with the Edmonton Oil Kings a decade ago. Jets trying to peel it off the end boards. We played 6 1/4 in this first period. Bob, one of the things Winnipeg would love to do is get Hellebuck more of a breather as that puck pinned along the boards. He's had 2 rough postseasons in a row. losing 8 of 10 in their last 2 first-round losses while playing to a save percentage of .875. With the puck pinned along the Dashers, it allows us to take a timeout. 13:41 to go in the first period. Gustafson have scored for Winnipeg.
The Oilers Community Foundation 50-50 raffle presented by Rogers is currently sitting at over $35,000 and climbing. Buy your tickets before tonight's early bird draws for your chance to win $500 for Safeway or 2 lower bowl tickets to an upcoming regular season home game. Purchase your tickets in person from 50-50 sellers on the concourse or scan the QR code on the video board and go directly to the buying link. Thank you for supporting the EOCF, and every kid deserves a shot. Oktoberfest has returned to Ice District, and one lucky fan tonight will win 4 tickets to the festivities for this upcoming Friday night. To play along, go ahead and scan the QR code on the video board or open up the Rogers Place app, click live and scratch and win, and you're good to go. This is your chance to win your way into the party. Get scratching and good luck. You can also purchase your tickets by heading to icedistrict.com/Oktoberfest.
Off coming right side of Eric Comrie. Edmonton 1, Winnipeg 1. First preseason game for the Oilers, and they'll be back in action tomorrow night, a 7 o'clock start against the Calgary Flames, and we're expecting much more of an NHL look to that Oiler lineup. Cam Moon will have the call as the Oilers open the preseason with back-to-back contests at home. Off the draw, it's flipped in and kicked to the corner by Oilers starter Olivier Rodrigue. Last 4 years, battle-tested in Bakersfield, and makes a good save short side on Axel Janssen-Fjallby, who had snuck to the middle. Janssen-Fjallby a couple years ago had an impact for the Jets. Last year was more of a half-and-half split between Winnipeg and the American Hockey League. Bob, defense. Yeah. What do you see for Edmonton?
Wow.
More, I would say, 4 through, let's say, 9.
Yeah, Ty Emerson's got his nose ahead of everybody else for the 4. Obviously, Kulak will be the 5 at left shot. And right now, Josh Brown looks like, you know, he's there as a 6, Stetcher at 7. But they got 3 or 4 other players that are trying to get themselves in the mix.
Shoveled in deep by Kevin He for Winnipeg, and now a shot from the point was blocked and actually snapped the stick. Man who took the shot was Dylan Anhorn. Stefan with no stick right now for the Edmonton Oilers, and with no stick he can't clear it from the left half board, so Parker Ford lays it back to Anhorn, cross ice back to Ford, and it took a hop on him. Loose puck in the corner. Noah Philp squirts free right in front of the Oiler net. Ben Gleason is there to gather. Then he battled that broken stick on the ice, had to twirl it back to the other side, and Josh Brown wastes no time in clearing down the right-hand side. Brown, nearly a decade ago, captained the Oshawa Generals to a Memorial Cup at the expense of Oiler head coach Chris Knobloch and the Erie Otters along the way. Of course, Connor McDavid on that team. Here's a steal by Cam Wright for Edmonton, and they'll go to work in the attacking zone. Wright, good play up the wall. Across to Carrick from Dineen. Carrick slide step to his left. Beautiful play, then tried to get a little too cute and had it picked off. He was trying to hit Dineen, and Kevin He will bring it up the left-hand side for Winnipeg. His shot blocked, quickly swept out by William Nickel, and bounced in deep by Wright. Nickel was the Oilers' 7th-round pick this summer, and he plays with O'Reilly in London.
And he can skate.
From center ice, shot in by Jared Anderson-Dolan, who had a long trial with the LA Kings that did not pan out, and now it's covered once more by Rodrigue. 8.5 gone by first period. We're tied at 1. Gustafson for Winnipeg and Sam O'Reilly for Edmonton.
So, Jack, I think Emerson's in the 4-hole, second pairing right shot D. I think that Brown's third pairing right shot D.
That's at the start of camp.
The start of camp, Stetcher 7. But Gleason, along with Deneen and Carrick, I mean, that's 8, 9, and 10 in the organization, and I don't think we should forget about Philip Kemp either. So the Oilers have got some options, maybe further down than they used to have depth-wise on defense.
Is it possible there's significant movement there in the 4 through 9 based on camp?
Could be. Could also be an addition at some point, too, as the organization accrues a little cap space during the year.
Off a dump in, Ben King will try to clear for Winnipeg. The Oilers will reset at center ice. Moving left to right. Here's Matt Savoy, drafted 8th overall by Buffalo. His shot flicked aside by the ex-Sabre Connery. And the rebound put Colson. Nifty play to the middle, off a stick out to Brown. His shot pinballed around and eventually cleared up the left-hand side by Zhilkin. And King will work it up the left-hand boards as both teams make wholesale changes in personnel. Gleason across. Brown, a sharp-looking feed, left-hand side for Drake Caggiula. As Bob mentioned, another injury last year, and that's been Caggiula's story. Shoveled in front. Caggiula working hard in front of the net, battled it, and finally eluded O'Reilly. Trickles to the right-hand corner. O'Reilly back on it. Caggiula once again in the mix. Never a guy afraid, despite limited stature, to get to the front of the net. Here's Carrick with a steal, and now Caggiula breaks loose, shoots, and a glove save made by Connery, who came out to cut off the angle and makes his best stop of the night with 10:17 to go in the first period. And Caggiula, a determined-looking shift.
Yeah, he broke a wrist last year to close out his season, was relatively productive at the AHL level. As you recall, Jack, Caggiula went down fairly early in training camp last year. This is his second tour of duty with the Oilers organization.
Best year of the Oilers, best year in the NHL was 13 goals, but that was in the Starcross 17-18 campaign, a disappointing year for almost everyone else in the organization. And then Caggiula just had problems staying healthy, both here and then in Chicago. Connor Carrick, right-hand side. Stefan will shovel it down low. That's going to be picked up, gathered, and quickly cleared by Coghlan. Big hit on that far side. A couple of years ago, James Stefan, Bob, became the 20th player in the history of the Western Hockey League to be born in the U.S. and score 100 points in the season. Center ice, fired in by Sautner. He's carved out a nice decade-long career in the American Hockey League. Jaden Grube, solid player down on the farm last year. Cam Wright will chip in charge. Nickel in hot pursuit of that puck. Sautner will lay it off. Salamonson with a clear for Winnipeg. That back to center. Second-round pick a couple years ago for the Jets.
They like him.
They've got 3 of their picks from this summer, rounds 4, 5, and 6, dressed in the lineup for tonight's game. After losing at home last night to Minnesota 5-2. Mentioned Kakkonen started. Ian Comrie competing for the backup job, and Kakkonen, of course, an ex-Minnesota goaltender. Up the right-hand side, Rasmus Kupari for Winnipeg. He'll turn it over. Streaking toward the middle. Controlling the puck and dishing off. Matt Savoy from Hamlin. Tried to give it back to James Hamlin, and that was off the mark. Kupari will leave it for Logan Stanley, who, for whatever reason, seems to dress a lot against Edmonton. As Bob mentioned, he was a healthy scratch for more than 50 games last year. But
I think he'd like a change of scenery at some point, Jack.
up the left-hand side. Here's a clear wrist shot coming, and a save made by Comrie, and a good one as he came out to take one away from Drake Caggiula, who's had a couple of good looks, one from each wing, and Comrie has stopped him twice. This time, Caggiula let the wrister fly, trying to get it over the right pad, but Comrie closes the door and keeps the game tied at 1. 8:07 to play, first period.
All right, fans, I'm here is Sharon and her granddaughter Arwen, and it's time for tonight's Tim Hortons Coffee Cup Shuffle. I should also mention that this is Sharon's very first ever game, so make sure, fans, you show her lots of support because you can play this one, okay? In just a minute, we're going to show Sharon and Arwen a Tim Hortons Coffee Cup up on the big screen, okay? Ladies, we're going to have a Timbit jump into that cup. They're going to shuffle around. When they're done, you have to tell me and everybody else which cup that Timbit is hiding in, okay? If you do it correctly, we're going to give you a $50 Tim's card, okay? Arwen, Sharon, you ready?
Yes.
Yes, I like that confidence. Okay, let's look up at the big board. And away we go with that shuffle. Okay, there goes the Timbit. And they're off shuffling. Okay, now don't lose focus, fans. This means for you as well. Keep your eyes on the prize here in case you need to scream the answer their way. All right. Original, dark roast, or latte? What do we think?
Latte. Latte.
Latte, okay. Seems latte is the consensus. Are we right? Boom, that's how you do it. You got it. For your first ever game, Sharon, Arwen, congratulations. The $50 Tim cards is all yours. And remember, fans, you can get points and personalized rewards with the Tim Hortons app.
Shot the Jets 5-2, shrugging off an early goal credited to David Gustafson on a deflection. Off the face-off to Comrie's right-hand side. Puck cleared out of play into the Edmonton bench once again with Chris Knobloch this time patrolling for the first time as an NHL coach, a training camp. Of course, Knobloch took over with the Oilers sitting at 3-9-1 last year.
Went pretty good for him, Jack.
Sure did. Paul Coffey, Mark Stewart, Glenn Gulletson return as assistants on the Edmonton bench. Winnipeg coached this year by Scott Arniel, who was drafted by the Jets 43 years ago.
He was a good player for them.
Absolutely, especially on that 85 team, which many would say that 85 team might have been their best team. Of course, ran into the Oilers. 90 was an okay team, but ultimately
85 and 87, they had good teams both those years.
Yeah. Chipped up the right-hand side, Emberson. Over the right-hand side, he got swallowed up by Stanley. Loose in the corner. Top of the right circle, Lavoie. Drake Caggiula moves it down low, and now the Oilers trapped in the corner. Those 85 and 87 teams, fortunately,
wrong division.
Not only wrong division, but wrong time, considering the 85 and 87 Oilers might be the two greatest teams of all time, period. Not just in Edmonton.
Well, 85 was picked the best team, but most of the players from those two teams will tell you the 87 team is actually better.
Well, it depends who you talk to. I can think of a certain assistant on the Oilers staff who would disagree with that comment.
Yeah, what does he know?
Here's a chance. Top of the right circle, Josh Brown missing a wrist shot. Mike Hoffman on it for the Oilers. Had 10 goals a year ago in San Jose. Ben Gleason checked off the puck by Daniel Torgerson of Winnipeg, and he'll scramble his way to the Jets' blue line, and Edmonton will make a line change. 6.5 to go, first period.
You had Ruotsalainen on defense and Kent Nilsson at forward to that team. It's pretty good.
Down the left-hand side. Chipped in.
Which the 87 team had.
Right. Some would tell you the 84 and 85 Oilers had a little more grit.
Yes.
And thus more battle-tested, perhaps playoff ready. 87 a little more skilled. A drive from distance and a save made by Comrie. Rebound, Cam Dineen. It's a fun argument to have, especially when it's within the organization.
Yeah.
Here's Grube to Cam Wright. Checked against the half boards and eventually cleared by Salamanson. And the Jets from center ice, Toninato will swing it in. Dominic Toninato
scored a big goal in here, Jack. What, 4 years ago in the playoffs?
Absolutely. Part of the Jets' 4-game sweep, although The best player in that series wore number 37 and was the Jets goaltender. Hasn't found it in the playoffs since. Wristed around the boards, and you've got Emerson. Shoveled down low. Jets beat Colorado in game 1 of their series last year, but they beat them 7-6. And it just didn't get any better for Winnipeg. The Jets kept leaking goals. Colorado shut it down and won that series in 5. Winnipeg gave up 28 goals in 5 games.
That's hard to do. You're not going to win a lot of series doing that.
Chipped up the right-hand side by Rasmus Skapari, but the Oilers are able to hem the Jets in here. Working down low is Hamblin, protecting the puck in the far corner. As time continues to run inside 5 minutes now to play in the first period, we're tied at 1. Gustafson on the deflection, and Sam O'Reilly off a feed from Cam Denis. The equalizer for Edmonton, it's 1-1. Oilers force a turnover in the neutral zone. O'Reilly trying to beat out Stanley wide, closed off by Coughlin, who worked it up the left-hand side and back to center. Brown will take over for the Oilers, hit Kajula down the seam. Kajula loads up, never got a shot away. Comrie again came out. Kajula tried to stick handle his way through traffic and then coughed it up in the high slot. Jets able to regain the puck. Here's Lopinen. Nice hip check, freedom of the puck, and that was well delivered by Ben Gleason.
Hilliard Graves special there, Jack.
Brown will reset. I thought you were going to throw out a Craig Muni reference since we were just talking.
Well, that would be a knee and not a hip.
Oilers. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Here's Stefan. In over the line, left-hand side. Noah Philp down low to Mike Hoffman. Checked off the puck in the corner by Torgerson. And the Jets, with 3.5 minutes to go, look to move it up the left-hand side. And doing exactly that, Bardot. After it, Carrick turned it over. Quick shot, rebound off the post. Janssen Fjolby unable to beat Rodrigue, covering up at the far post. And the Oilers with an outlet up the left-hand side. Carrick will move it from center ice. Shot in deep by Noah Philp. No pressure on Salamonson. A reset for Winnipeg. Chipped in, Sautner laid it ahead. Parker Ford. Rodrigue played it up the left-hand side, did not get it out though. Here's a centering pass, Toninato. The shot deflected away by Rodrigue. Toninato again looking to set up Parker Ford, who had the last chance from the right circle. Ford still battling side of the net, now engaged with Travis Dermott. Also here on a PTO for the Edmonton Oilers. On the back end, Toninato threw it toward the net. That went off a skate. Oilers able to reverse up the left-hand side. Dermott gathering steam is Cam Wright. Salamonson able to reel him in, perhaps illegally, but no penalty was called. Referees tonight, Grady Hamilton and Tom Shimoleski, and they've kept the action moving. We're down to 2 minutes to play in this first period. Preseason opener tied at 1. Oilers take over. Neutral zone, Josh Brown. Ben Gleason up the right-hand side and sifted in deep by James Hamblin. Jets first on the puck. Kapari swung it up the left-hand side. Walton slightly tripped up. Brown, an awkward fall, went down in a heap. Jets trying to negate Matt Savoy at center. They do. Line change Edmonton. Walton steps in for the Jets. Kapari, off-balance shot, no chance. Rebound off the end boards, taken by Coughlin. Put it back behind Kapari. Now Walton, centering pass, poked away. Back into the corner. Walton is able to regain behind the net. Centering pass, floats out Stanley. Shot redirected, nice save. Point blank on Kapari by Olivier Rodrigue. And there's Kapari's NHL career in a nutshell. Yep. Pretty good chances, knows where to be, but can't finish. Loose in the corner, Anderson Dolan. Another LA King prospect that did not pan out. Sam O'Reilly hoists it back through the middle. Final minute, first period, preseason opener. The shots are 6-4 Edmonton. The game is tied at 1. O'Reilly the equalizer. Gustafson, the man credited with Winnipeg's goal, gets it in deep. Janssen Fjolby back to the point, lining up, shooting as Bardot. That ricocheted a couple times. LeBlanc turned it over. And it was kicked back by Anhorn. Swept around the boards by Bardot and regained and settled by Cam Dineen, who set up O'Reilly for the equalizer. Centering pass deflected away by Gustafson. Noah Philp in the corner, checked off the puck. Lavoie with 10 seconds to go in the period. Puts the brakes on, little spin move left corner, protects well. Philp out to Dineen, dishes off, a shot at the horn, wide from Emerson. And the Oilers will have to settle for a 1-1 tie after 20 minutes of play. The shot clock 6-4 Edmonton.
Through one period of play, the Winnipeg Jets won. The Edmonton Oilers 1. Shots on goal in the opening 20 minutes for the Jets 4. And for your Oilers 6.
To be a good teammate and be kind to one another. We expect our fans to fully support the values of respect, inclusion, and safety at all times. Enjoy the rest of the hockey game.
Tonight's Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50 raffle by Rogers is currently sitting now at over $42,000 and climbing. Buy your tickets before tonight's early bird draws for your chance to win $500 for Safeway or 2 lower bowl tickets to an upcoming regular season home game. Purchase your tickets in person from 50-50 sellers on the concourse or scan the QR code on the video board and go directly to the buying link. Thank you for supporting the EOCF, and every kid deserves a shot.
For nothing more than some bragging rights. So teams, if you're ready, Hunter, let's drop that puck. And the teams are off, and it's Blue with the puck first. Okay, nice block by Orange. Blue still trying to take control, and we got one bubble down for Blue. Everyone's still up on their feet, playing nice and gentle so far. Oh, there we go. Another Blue down. Uh-oh, we're not even playing hockey, we're just fighting. Okay, Blue trying to score, and Blue gets it in, okay. One for Blue. Orange, got to even this up just a little bit. Little help from Hunter. Oh! Blue, not messing around. 2 orange bubbles down, and another goal for Blue. Okay, Team Blue taking a big lead here. Orange, you got to do something. Okay, there we go. Oh. Orange trying to take control of this. All bubbles are now up. Wow! Team Blue running away with it with 15 seconds left. Okay, Orange, let's see what you can do. All right, we're getting it in the right direction. Orange really fighting for it, and it's a bubble down that's going to score. A 3-1 for another edition of Oilers Bubble Hockey.
Fans, a reminder to tune into Oilers Now with Bob Stauffer, weekdays from 5 to 7 on 630 CHED. Make Rogers Place the home of your next corporate event. Whether you're looking to host a business meeting, reception, or social gathering, Rogers Place has a variety of flexible spaces to make your event unforgettable. Visit rogersplace.com/bookings today to reserve your next event space.
Make plays, skate and make plays. Partner, I got a hot mic, so watch what you're saying.
That was spicy.
Shoots. Bump save, Skinner.
Go, baby. Let's go.
Presses a daisy, as Kulak would say. Ah, there you go.
Manage the puck against this group, huh? That's what I'm talking about.
Nice play.
Detailed 60-minute game tonight, boys.
Make plays, skate and make plays. Partner, I got a hot mic, so watch what you're saying.
That was spicy.
Shoots. Bump save, Skinner.
Go, baby. Let's go.
Presses a daisy, as Kulak would say. Ah, there you go.
Manage the puck against this group, huh? That's what I'm talking about.
Nice play.
Kittle, swing on drive settle here.
You go low. Drive settle,
I'm assuming everyone's having fun right now.
Get behind-the-scenes access and stream preseason games live on Oilers Plus. Visit OilersPlus.com and enter offer code preseason24 and get your first 2 months for free.
Once again, welcome Oil Country to the first game here at Rogers Place for the 24 NHL preseason. My name is Tony Brar. Of course, everyone knows the lovely Paige Martin. Big round of applause for Paige Martin's outstanding rookie season last year. Of course, coming in for a sophomore year this year. What are you most looking forward to in year 2 of covering your Edmonton Oilers?
I think each and every single day, people ask me what the highlight of my job is, and it's absolutely everything. From covering the team on the ice, the best in the business to our team as well. And then just being part of oil country in general, it is such a genuine treat, and every single day is a highlight.
Well, we are back as we take a look at the first period highlights, and it was the Winnipeg Jets getting in the goal column first, courtesy of David Gustafsson, his first of the preseason. Of course, just 17 seconds into this one, had 3 goals, 4 assists with the Winnipeg Jets in 39 games last season. Off to a good start in the preseason. But then the Edmonton Oilers, they do respond. And Paige, it's courtesy of 2024 first-round pick number 32, Sam O'Reilly. And right here, demonstrating why he was selected with that first-round pick by the Edmonton Oilers.
I love what he does from the moment that he gets it at the blue line, and it's not long because he uses his speed, activates it right once it's on his stick, and he knows he's got a couple of defenders around him, but he's also got space to work with. So I love that. You know what? This is his very first NHL preseason game, but there was patience in how quick he was and the decision that he decided to make, and the fact that he was able to finish it. I'm sure that also helped him just take a little bit of a deep breath.
Sam O'Reilly turns and fires his first of the NHL preseason. The assist to Deneen and Carrick at 3:23. Carrick has looked really good in the opening stages of this one. As we take a look at the scoring summary, after 20 minutes of play, it's your Edmonton Oilers out shooting the Winnipeg Jets 6-4, out hitting them, out blocking them, winning in the faceoff dot. However, the score, remains tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. More on Sam O'Reilly now. Paige, of course, this is a player that you and I have got to know and cover over the course of the last couple of weeks. Of course, Sam O'Reilly demonstrating some of those skill sets that we just saw over in Penticton at the Young Stars Classic last week.
Yeah, I like the way that Sam O'Reilly describes himself as a forward. Of course, we see him playing center here this afternoon, and again, his first NHL preseason game, but he describes himself as a 200-foot player. And you and I talked about this earlier, the fact that he wasn't always playing up in the lineup in terms of being a forward. He was actually used to being on the blue line as a defenseman. So at his core, he's used to playing essentially a 200-foot game in terms of being able to play that defensive game. And I think Sam O'Reilly, he has that as his foundation, and he uses that to the best of his ability. And the fact that he was able to get on the board here this afternoon and just being able to kind of make sure he eases into it. Okay, I understand the pace of it. I understand how physical it's going to be. Let's see what I can do with this. And for Sam O'Reilly, kind of proving how the Edmonton Oilers did trade up to be able to acquire him in the NHL draft at the space that he did. We got a little bit of a strobe light. I love it.
Preseason for the lights as well.
Time.
They're flashing all over, and as a goal light, also flashed for the Edmonton Oilers off the stick of Sam O'Reilly. But one player that you also mentioned on the Oilers Plus Live pregame show, Ty Emberson. That's a player that you're watching here tonight as well.
Yeah, it's our first glimpse to see Ty Emberson in an Oilers uniform, and of course coming over from the San Jose Sharks. It's exciting to see what the Oilers can do with their blue line and that makeup. You know, there's some spots maybe up for grabs, and the fact that if he can solidify and say, hey, this is how I can fit into the blue line, this is the value that I can add as well. Well, it starts this afternoon against the Jets, seeing this is what I bring. And of course, we're going to have a couple more glimpses at him as well. But where can he contribute? Yes, on the blue line, but then also offensively if he wants to be able to jump up into the play as well.
All right, so Gustafsson and O'Reilly are your goal scorers. 1-1 is the score between the Edmonton Oilers and Winnipeg Jets to kick off the 2024 NHL preseason for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's take a look back at the first period highlights.
clap your hands. I like the way you love to dance. I like the way you put your hands up in the air. I like the way you shake your hair. I like the way you like to touch. I like the way you stare so much, but most of all,
1-1 tie as we bring you back for the second period. Edmonton, Winnipeg tonight, preseason opener. Gustafson from Stanley and Janssen Fjallby, 17 seconds into the game for the Jets. O'Reilly, the equalizer, the first-round pick from this past summer. Deneen and Carrick with the helpers, and O'Reilly will take the opening face-off here in the second period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer back inside our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth high atop Rogers Place, well attended for a beautiful Sunday afternoon preseason game. That would have been something if we had as many people as we have here on Saturday, but a great fan appreciation morning. Chatted with Oiler veterans Curtis Glencross and Andrew Farron, stuck around, signed some autographs, and now on into this preseason opener. A dump in for Edmonton. Comrie a misplay. Drake Caggiula takes over behind the Winnipeg net, and he'll locate Brown for a blast, a save. Comrie a rebound, loose for a moment, top of the crease, and then pulled in by the Winnipeg goaltender. 33 seconds into the second period. Should be noted, Comrie with Kakinen backing up and having played last night will go the full 60 minutes tonight. Midway through the second period, Olivier Rodrigue, we're expecting to be relieved by Colin Delia, who of course backed up last year for Winnipeg and then played in its American Hockey League, the affiliate, of course, the Manitoba Moose. Off the draw and a shot whipped from the right-hand side and wide. Manitoba plays in the same building.
And Delia had a tough year.
He did. 11-19-1, looking to bounce back this year in Edmonton's organization, where he'll be slated to play in Bakersfield. .872 save percentage, but Delia's been a guy at times effective at the National Hockey League level. He's carved out 19 wins for himself, including 10 a couple of years ago. Vancouver Canucks, he kind of was one of the guys, Bob, that got Rick Tockett's winning program moving forward.
They're going to be an interesting team to watch this year, Vancouver.
I think they're a team with among the biggest variances possible in the National Hockey League.
No question about that. I mean, my expectation is they're a 100-point team, but you never know if their goaltending situation doesn't get straightened out.
And if Elias Pettersson is the Pettersson of the final 25 games plus playoffs as opposed to the first 50 games. He's got to rediscover his form. But Colson dishing off one-timer, ripped by Savoy, deflected out to the point, hammered toward the net. Comrie makes a save on Cam Dineen from distance. 2 minutes gone by here in this second period. Popped off the stick of Podkolzin and cleared by Walton of Winnipeg. Giving ground is Connor Carrick. Defending Jared Anderson Dolan to the middle of the ice. Walton could not get a shot away. Stick tied up, and Rodrigue will fall on it. Getting in the mix that time, Dineen never really allowed Kieran Walton to get a shot off. Rodrigue able to smother it. 17:41 to go second period, tied at 1. I think Vancouver and Vegas, when you look at the Pacific Division, could be 100 to 105 point teams, Bob, but they could also be 80, 85 point teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe 90 to 105 for me, but I think that's fair. I don't think they're going to quite drop to that level.
I think if Demko is hurt for any significant stretch of time, it's one thing to come in with, I mean, Shilov's had a good run against Edmonton, competed, certainly. But over the course of a long season, when you're the #1 guy, it's a little bit different.
Well, the Oilers in the end got to him, right? By games 6 and 7, Edmonton got to another level.
Yeah, his numbers were, I mean, they were fine, but they weren't otherworldly.
Jack, the Oilers won a playoff series with the lowest save percentage ever from a starting goaltender to win a playoff series in NHL history.
That's what I mean. I mean, Shilovs was okay, but he wasn't great. And now you put him in, Bob, for 30, 35 games, and it could get ugly. Chance for Zilkin, can't finish against Rodrigue from the right circle. And that's really, when you look at Winnipeg's forwards dressed tonight, guys not only struggling to score at the NHL level, but the American Hockey League level. And Zilkin is in that group. 2 goals in 44 American Hockey League games last year. Scored in the mid-20s in the Ontario League, but hasn't found it at the professional level. The Oilers dump it in, and it's a reset for Winnipeg and Ashton Sautner. Up the right-hand side, Janssen Fjallby floats one behind the Oiler net, played expertly by Rodrigue, and Gleason will laser one up the right-hand boards. That'll turn into an icing call, and the whistle goes with 3.5 gone by in the second period, tied at 1. And then if you couple that with Pettersson, if he struggles to the degree he did, and I know you think he's going to bounce back, and he probably would, but he had a real rough, for an elite player, he had as rough a 25 to 35 game stretch as you'll see.
At the end of the day, Edmonton's star players come crunch time
play even better. And jury's still out in Vancouver, and that allowed Edmonton to overcome a tough series with Stuart Skinner in goal. And pretty good efforts from guys like JT Miller, should be noted.
Yep.
Cut off from the corner, a shot redirected a couple times, and a save made Rodrigue.
But Bouchard outplayed Quinn Hughes.
Lead pass back to the point. Anhorn could not keep it in, and now we'll have our first penalty of the game at the 3:59 mark, and it's going to be a hold as that puck came up ice swiftly, and Anhorn, having been caught in a partial pinch,
Winnipeg, number 83,
reached out and got the call. So Edmonton will go to the power play. And again, tomorrow night we're expecting we may see as many as the whole first power play unit, but tonight's a different story, Bob. So opportunities for guys like Podkolzin and Mike Hoffman.
Take a look at who's taking the draw here.
Matt Savoy.
Yeah, well, played a lot of center, as you know, in junior, but if he's going to play in the NHL for the Oilers, he's going to be on right wing.
Savoy won the face-off, flipped back to the point for Ben Gleason. Lavoie giving Edmonton a 4-forward look. The pass to the middle intended for Savoy, and that misfired.
I was there, but Colson found him.
Gleason gathers off the misplay. Podkolzin again moving it to Savoy. This time over the line successfully for Mike Hoffman. Around the boards, Lavoie protects for Gleason. Now a quick dish for Savoy from Hoffman. Hoffman, Gleason, one-timer, and a shattered stick for Lavoie. Raphael Lavoie, the last 2 years in the American Hockey League, 53 goals, and finding Savoy again that time was Podkolzin, and Comrie makes the save. And that time Savoy was ready to shoot. I'll say this, Podkolzin, Hoffman, they're NHL players. You got to realize if you're Matt Savoy, they're going to get you the puck. Be ready to do something with it.
Yeah, no question about that. You know, the Oilers had Carter Savoy, and he was a swing as a 4th-round pick, a kid out of the AJ, won a national title at Denver. I think it's fair to say that there was some debate over, you know, there's a reason he was drafted in the 4th round. Matt Savoy is completely different personality.
Cam Dineen getting it back from Carrick. A shot from the point redirected up and out of play. What do you mean by that?
Well, Matt Savoy, first of all, he's built like a chicken hawk. Like, he is got a hard, firm body on him that belies his age. He's got wiry strength. And then, you know, Carter had issues staying healthy, being healthy, really right from the rookie camps on, and it kind of undermined any success he had in the minors. And Matt's just simply in better shape. Now, he is a 9th overall pick versus a 100th overall pick. But Oilers took a swing on Carter, didn't really work out, and they're hoping for a better run here with Matt. Because they gave up a good player, as you know, Ryan McLeod in that deal.
Moving to his left, Cam Dineen off the power play. This is a broken play that turns into an offside. Stepping in prematurely, Drake Caggiula. He had Carrick on his left. 41 seconds left on the Atco power play. Once again, this year's power play brought to you by Alberta's trusted energy retailer.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that Matt Savoy is going to be playing right wing in the minors and that he's going to play in the NHL as a right wing. And the Oilers have increased some finances in the area of development, much needed, may I add. And it'll be really intrigued to see how a guy like Savoy progresses in the Oilers organization.
Gleason moves it over to Hoffman. Podkolzin side of the net, turns and fires off the pads of Eric Comrie, and it in turn is launched down the right-hand side and out by Dylan Coghlan. We're down to 15 seconds left on this Atco power play. And now Zhilkin doing a nice job of tying up Ben Gleason in the Oilers zone. Carved out of there by Savoy. Podkolzin tried to put it into heavy traffic for Lavoie. That was broken up. And the Jets are able to wind it around the boards and out. That'll do it for the Oiler power play. 6 minutes into the second period, we remain tied at 1. Travis Dermott hustles it back in. Ran into Stanley, got it back, and now Jaden Grube. Nifty pass, cross-seamer, broken up by Coghlan. As William Nickel was trying to slide that across the top of the blue paint. He'll leave it in the corner. Kapari swarmed under by Grube. Cam Wright back to the point. Shot not a lot on it from Dermott, and he'll hustle back as Kapari will attack left wing. Pulls up top of the circle. Send it down low. Ford taken out by Emberson, but now getting back on it is Kevin He. Played back behind the net. Tracked by Emberson. He'll shovel it up the left-hand side. Emberson suffered a deep cut last year, limited him to 30 games with San Jose. But when healthy, and considering the team he was playing for, gave a pretty good account of himself.
Some good analytics.
Here's Toninato in for the Jets. Centering pass Bardot, broken up. And that's grabbed by Podkolzin. 12:50 to go, second period. Podkolzin looking to regain against Walton. Slid off his stick. And Bardot forks it over for the Jets through the neutral zone. Turned over initially by Anhorn, and the Oilers will just go D to D and reset. Brown gets it back from Gleason. Now sends one up the boards. James Hamblin breaks loose for a moment. Reeled in by Gustafson. Went down in a heap right corner. Torgerson came over. Freed it up for the moment. Gustafson trying to get it out. The pesky Hamblin continues to hem the Jets in. Bardot slid it up the right-hand side, and Ben King makes certain of a clear inside the Oiler blue line. Carrick on the retrieval for the Oilers. Right to left comes Mike Hoffman. Scampers his way into the zone, gives it up. Noah Philp protecting against Coghlan. Then for Hoffman. Spins to his right, gives it up. Middle of the ice, intended for Philp, broken up. Connor Carrick tried a short pass there that did not pan out. So he'll leave it for Hoffman. Back across the line. Return to the middle of the ice, and Comrie is there to cover for the Winnipeg Jets, who've been outshot tonight 12-7. Jets scored early. The Oilers answered with an equalizer by Sam O'Reilly, the 32nd overall pick this past summer.
Time for tonight's Century Mile Derby, presented by Century Mile Casinos. Let's meet tonight's competitors. Horse number 29, Leon Draisaitl, being represented tonight by section 115. Horse 93, Nugent Hoofkins, being represented tonight by section 132. And horse 97, Seabiscuit, being represented tonight by section 206. Now, the loudest fan from tonight's winning section takes home a home Oilers jersey. So get ready to cheer on the ponies, Rogers Place. The horses are at the post. And they're off. We got a clean break out of the gate, and they make their way down the straightaway. We've got Seabiscuit on the outside. We've got Draisaitl running up the middle. Nugent Hoofkins is holding the rail as they make the turn. Draisaitl tries to take the lead. Nugent Hoofkins holds him off. Seabiscuit challenging on the outside. They make their way around the back stretch and down the final turn, and down the stretch they come. the fan in section 115. This fan right here is tonight's big winner and takes home the Oilers jersey. That's been tonight's Century Mile Derby. We'll see you at the track.
Delia is warmed up and ready to go in the tunnel, but for now Rodriguez stays in as the Oilers get an offensive zone draw. Missed shot from the point taken by Travis Dermott, and a clear for Torgerson of Winnipeg. We are tied at 1. Preseason opener live from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in the city of Edmonton. The Oilers last year winning 49 games. At least 49 for the third straight year on their way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final before losing to Florida 2-1. Drive from Emberson sailed wide. Winnipeg actually finished with a better regular season record last year than Edmonton. 52-24-6. The Jets were the higher seed, but lost to Colorado in the first round.
Well, they're in a tough division because you got to factor in Colorado and Dallas, and now Nashville.
Here's Lavoie, one-timer ripped from the high slot. Kick save made by Eric Comrie up the right-hand side, and that's dumped in by Torgerson. Meanwhile, I would say, and I know you would not join me in that sentiment, but I would say the only Pacific Division team I think you'd almost put your mortgage on to make the playoffs would be Edmonton.
I'd have Vegas and Vancouver in there too.
Put your mortgage on it?
Sure. And I have two of them.
Jared Anderson Dolan. You'd put both of them. Wow.
I think they're both making the playoffs.
Oh, I think they'll make it.
I don't know.
I'm not confident. I think the Pacific has a lot more room for movement than the Central.
I don't know if LA is going to make it this year. Is it addition by subtraction without Pierre-Luc Dubois?
Chipped in, left-hand side, Raphael Lavoie. He's belted in the corner by Sautner. An outlet for Anderson Dolan missed, and that will turn into an icing call against the Jets with 9:37 to go in this second period. Winnipeg has just 7 shots on net, one of them deflected in. And now that we've played 30 minutes and 23 seconds, Olivier Rodriguez's night is, well, I thought was going to be done, but there's an icing call. So Rodriguez is going to stay in there. Delia's ready to go. He's warmed up in the tunnel, and he'll be coming in at the next stoppage. It's an icing. So Edmonton, an offensive zone face-off. Hamlin wins it, and now we have a warning for a violation. Often in the preseason, we see some rules that have been kind of, not enforced, but kind of mentioned as points of emphasis, and then sometimes it drifts away in the regular season. Here's a drive from the point by Connor Carrick that kicks off the end boards. Comrie went down awkwardly. He's back up on his feet as the Jets get it in deep. And now presumably at the next whistle we will see Colin Delia. The organization number 4 for Edmonton. Here's a centering pass in front for Podkolzin. Shoveled to him by Hamlin. Could not finish. Comrie the save. Stepping up, shooting is Emberson. Kick save made by Comrie. Jets are able to pull the rebound out of the pile up the right-hand side. Dermott tries to hold his position, but it's nudged forward, and now here's Walt. Kind of a gangly forward, driven off the puck rather easily by Emberson. And a clear for Mike Hoffman for the Oilers up the right-hand side. Stefan put it in deep. Had a nice year last year in the American Hockey League. Scored 15 goals for San Diego in the Anaheim organization. Dermott launching down the middle. That's going to be settled by Comrie. Laid off to Stanley.
Little surprised Ben King's on a PTO. Would have thought that he would have been re-signed,
Parker Ford sent it in deep. Chipped in, left-hand side. Sent back the other way. And that'll be an icing call.
As you know, King Lion just had a terrific year as a 19-year-old in the OHL.
Red Deer.
Yeah, with the Red Deer Rebels. Guy we saw surprisingly at the rookie tournament last week, Archie Bates, with 55 points in 59 games as a second-year player in the AHL last year. You don't often see guys with 2 years of AHL experience in rookie tournaments. 2 full seasons. Vancouver took that tournament quite seriously, I guess.
Philp won the face-off. Dermott up the left-hand side. Oilers went 0-3 for just the second time in the history of the Penticton Young Stars tournament. Scored 1 goal in 180 minutes. Got the equalizer early tonight. Sam O'Reilly played in that tournament. Tied the game after an early deflection credited to Gustafson. Here are the Jets deep in the zone. Quickly snapped across by Bardot. Picked off by Kajula. Slashed it free for Gleason with 7.5 to go in the second period. He'll turn and give it up for Josh Brown. Up the left-hand side. And now move through the middle. Brown, a reset. Looks for an outlet. LeBlanc, Kajula will change as we come up on 7 minutes to play in the period. O'Reilly now out there with Cam Wright. And on the left-hand side, William Nickel. Now O'Reilly changes. Comrie lays it off. Right-hand boards, Torgerson. Defending is Jaden Grube. Janssen Fjallby put it behind the net. Logan Stanley comes up. Janssen Fjallby protects for Gustafson. He's trapped in the corner. Able to fish it out of there. Good work by Jaden Grube. He and Wright have some bite. Part of that group that'll give Bakersfield its identity this year for Colin Chalk and Keith McCambridge down on the farm. Logan Stanley up the middle. Parker 4. 6.25 to go. Second period. We're tied at 1 in the preseason opener. Edmonton in the blue uniforms. Winnipeg in the white. Salamonson from the right side for the Jets. Put it behind the Oiler net. Now receives a pass high slot. Fakes the shot. That pass had no chance for Kevin He. Put it right in his feet. And a leaping play made by the Oilers and a clear for Cam Wright. Here's Salamonson back across the line to Parker 4. Right wing shot blocked. Went directly to Matt Savoy. Up the right-hand side, gathered and sent in deep by Podkolzin. He'll finish his check in the corner and create space for Savoy. Took a hard check from Bardot, and that puck came loose and was launched by Anhorn up the middle. Batted down, and the Jets are offside with 5:22 to play in this second period. Winnipeg has gone more than 10 minutes without a shot on net. The Oilers and the Jets locked in a 1-1 tie. Edmonton a 16-7 spread on the shot clock, and we'll have...
Fans, don't forget to follow the Orange and Blue Ice Crew on Instagram at OilersOBIC for exclusive behind-the-scenes content all season long. Keep up with their latest events and appearances throughout Oil Country, and don't miss the action. Tie, 5:22 to go, second period. Edmonton and
and the Winnipeg Jets. And, of course, they'll meet in the regular season opener. Bob and I will have it for you. We might as well say it right now. We might as well start pumping people over to 880 because that's where we're going to be. That'll be we're there now, but 6:30. Chad, the flagship home of the Oilers Radio Network, has the preseason slate. We're transitioning you over to 880. That's the only thing that does change is go to 880, and you'll hear the same broadcast you've heard for so many years. Bob's back, so is Cam, so is Rob, Bryn Griffiths. This year, our pre- and post-game host, Overtime Open Line. Again, on the flagship home of the Oilers Radio Network. It will remain Chad, but it's going to be located at 880, starting with that regular season opener, October 9th, against these same Winnipeg Jets. Well, not these same Winnipeg Jets. I'm not sure we'll see any of them. Rasmus Kapari streaking down the left wing. Cross ice, a pass tipped. Walt. Behind the net, he'll locate Anderson Dolan. Swooping, dishing, one-timer blast, and a save made by goaltender Colin Delia. And that's the first shot he's gotten a look at. Came in midway through the second period. And as Bob mentioned, a well-traveled veteran, 30 years of age. He's coming off an off year with Winnipeg's American Hockey League affiliate. I'm going to make a bet right now, Bob. I'm going to say that none of these Jets are in the lineup on October the 9th. Starting line. Like as in, sure, playing. You could see Comrie backing up, but in terms of actually in the game. 4.5 to go, second period.
I think we know Emberson.
I think there's going to be 3 Oilers in the line.
Emberson and Brown for sure.
And Podkolzin. I think 3 Oilers for sure will be in the opening night lineup against the Jets. Podkolzin to Matt Savoy up the right-hand side. That's bumped out of play. 4:24 to go, second period. Tied at 1. Again, the goals. David Gustafsson had one glance off his body on a shot from Logan Stanley 17 seconds in. And then Cam Dineen hit Sam O'Reilly with a nice outlet pass, and O'Reilly was able to move from backhand to forehand in the right-handed shot, beating Eric Comrie glove side for the equalizer. That came 3.5 minutes into the hockey game. We haven't had a goal since. Brown, the outlet to James Hamlin. He's checked by Zhilkin at center ice. Following up on the play and sending it in deep, Matt Savoy. Jets regain the puck. Coughlin up the left-hand side. Brown defending on the half wall, then pulling up with possession of the puck behind his own net up the right-hand side. Josh Brown, a fresh start. He's been on some organizations with some internal combustion, if you will, in Arizona and Ottawa. Yep. But most importantly, settled on a winner. In over the line. Lopinen unable to get a shot away, tied up with Kajula. He and Grube will come up ice. Over the line, Kajula cross ice. Tried to hit Lavoie. That was broken up. Good play defensively by Ben King. As Bob mentioned, a guy who had a good year in the American Hockey League last season. Now Lavoie shoots, and that went off a body in front. Kajula tracked it down in the corner. And finally, it's forced back to center. Dineen will give some ground as we come up on 3 minutes to play in the second period. In from the left-hand side, Cam Wright cuts behind the net, shoots. Comrie there to make the save. Rebound, a little laissez-faire in moving the puck initially, Zhilkin, but finally he was able to golf it back to center. Cam Wright fires cross ice, missed William Nickel, and that's going to be picked up by Winnipeg and settled ultimately by Salamonson. Up the right-hand side. Ford got it in. Emberson will carry it swiftly up the right-hand side. Emberson played with Dylan Holloway at the University of Wisconsin. Also played for Chris Knobloch a couple years ago in Hartford.
Had a good year there.
Chipped up the right-hand side and out by Ford, back to center. Slashed back the other way. Dermott will pick it up. He's got Stefan with him. Wrist shot to save made by Comrie. Now Phil takes his turn and has his shot blocked. Stefan, 5 years in the Western Hockey League. for one of the premier teams year in, year out, especially offensively, Portland Winterhawk. Where do you think Stefan will slot in initially within this organization?
Third line right wing in the minors.
Lead pass left-hand side, put Coles in. A shot and a save made. Squared up cleanly was Comrie. And he makes his 19th save of the afternoon and keeps it a 1-1 tie with 1:32 to play in the second period. This is the preseason opener, live from Rogers Place in downtown Edmonton.
Doc Emmerich here. Welcome. Hockey, a sport of speed, skill, and respect. In this arena, hockey is at its best when we all feel safe and welcome. Remember, foul language and discriminatory behavior result in major penalties. Fighting, slurs, and throwing stuff? You're out of here. Listen to the staff and go speak with them if you need help. Hockey fans are the best fans in the world. Let's show respect for our game.
Loyalty Rewards is a free program that gives Oilers fans the opportunity to earn points for attending games, making concession and retail purchases, watching from home, shopping with our partners, and much more. Redeem loyalty points for exclusive content, reward items, and merchandise through loyaltyrewards.com or the Rogers Place app. Bob Stauffer with you. We're live in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. And O'Reilly able to win the faceoff. Oilers have had one power play today and did not convert. They have not been on the penalty kill, but I'll tell you that Napa Auto Parts returns as our penalty kill sponsor, just to be nice. Anderson Dolan tips it out right-hand side for Winnipeg. Rasmus Kapari banged it back behind the net where Josh Brown was waiting for it for the Oilers. Digging in Kajula to try to force it up the right-hand side. Stanley lets fly, and Colin Delia, who replaced Olivier Rodrigue mid-game, will make the save. Bob, if you don't mind, indulge me and indulge our listeners a little bit with a thought of how much attention should you pay to a guy who scores 50 as an overage major junior?
I think if you're the Oilers and you've moved draft capital to load up, you have to look at those players. There's something I like about James Steffen. Yes, he was 4th in the league in goals, but he was 3rd in the league in shorthanded goals. And that to me is a sign that he can skate and make some things happen. And I know in even strength points, he was in the top 5 in scoring in the Western League last year as well.
In from the left-hand side, Connor Carrick sends it down low. Stepping up, Cam Dineen, cross ice. That was tipped. Carrick sneaks down with 40 seconds to play in the period. Oilers trying for their first lead, but a steal by Torgerson, and instead it's Winnipeg left to right. Torgerson sends it in deep, and that's going to be covered by Delia. Now, just to follow up on that, Bob, is that partly because in the next 2 to 3 years, if you look at Edmonton realistically, you're not going to get on the power play on this club. So do you look for guys who can do things on special teams, especially from a shorthanded perspective?
I think James Steffen is probably, if everything works out perfectly, and the Oilers, there's no salary cap in R&D, research and development. They've invested a lot of money on the development side. He's probably 3 years away from, if he can get into the mix in Edmonton. That's how deep the team is.
Right.
And he's going to have different he's going to have to bring different things to the table. I don't think there's any debate about that. I think that's just a given. So, you know, it's like Matt Savoy. Matt Savoy's going down. He's, you know, maybe a year from now we're talking Matt Savoy third line right wing. 2 years from now, Matt Savoy second line right.
Off the draw to Delia's right. The Oilers exit the zone.
And that's a 9th overall pick, Jeff.
Matt Savoy, you mean?
Yes, not a guy that was an undrafted 20. Stefan's got a chance. You're taking a swing. You're hoping that he becomes something. One of the things that the Penguins, when they won the back-to-back cups, is they hit on a lot of NCAA guys a little bit later on. The Oilers, you can do it through, you know, undrafted 20s. I think Edmonton's going to need to get into the free agent market in the NCAA on left shot defense in the next couple of years. I think that's a given that's going to happen.
Icing call against the Jets. Philp with 10 seconds to go in the period won a face-off back to Emberson, who could not get it on net, and instead the Jets will clear, and that will be all for the second period, as by the time Dermott got back, time had run out. The shots are 19-9.
No scoring in the second period, so the score after 2 periods of play, the Winnipeg Jets won, the Edmonton Oilers won. Shots on goal in period number 2 for Winnipeg, 5 for a 2-period total of 9, and for the Oilers, 13 for a 2-period total of 19.
Friendly reminder to respect your fellow fans. Let's make tonight an unforgettable experience for everyone.
Tonight's Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50 raffle presented by Rogers is currently sitting at just under $60,000. It's still climbing. So buy your tickets before tonight's 6 p.m. live early bird draw. It's your chance to win 2 lower bowl tickets to an upcoming regular season home game. Purchase your tickets in person from 50-50 sellers on the concourse, or scan the QR code on the video board and go directly to the buying link. Thank you for supporting the EOCF, and every kid deserves a shot. Get into the game and experience Oilers hockey with a group of friends, teammates, co-workers, family, or customers. Select from reserved fan seating or food-inclusive seating options. Group seats start at just $49. Book your group outing tonight at EdmontonOilers.com/groups. Fans, you don't miss exciting Oilers hockey right here in Rogers Place. The Oilers will be back in action tomorrow when they take on the Calgary Flames. Puck drop scheduled for 7 p.m. You can purchase your tickets for this game and any game this season by visiting EdmontonOilers.com/tickets.
That's a pretty good shot.
Let's go Oilers! Oilers Hockey School presented by Rogers is back this summer, which means kids from in and around Oil Country are honing their skills this offseason, both here at the downtown community arena and up in Fort McMurray.
It was great. We had so many participants, so just over 300 participants in Edmonton and in Fort McMurray this year, and it was just incredible.
It's been fun. We've done a lot of classes like yoga, nutrition, and the ice time's been quite an experience. I just think the Oilers hockey camp is a lot different from the other hockey camps because you get to do stuff that the Oilers do, and they get to teach you on how to exercise and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they get to go and train in the Oilers where they work out, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that's pretty hard to get into. I've never been there, and I used to play for the Oilers, so maybe I'll have to sign up for the camp next year.
Can I grow a playoff beard? Yeah, that's definitely one of my talents, actually.
Being on the rink in the middle of July it's not common really anywhere else except for Canada, so it's pretty cool.
Nice save. Good cover, too. All right. Good job.
James and I were talking about the fact that the skill level just continues to rise every time you work a hockey school. And I just think it's You know, number one, I think as a sport, it's evolving. You can see the skill sets evolving, but these young kids are picking it up faster. I was really impressed with the talent out there. I really was.
It's a goal of the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation to kind of expand and really focus on some other markets in oil country. And Fort McMurray has a great hockey community, so it was a great opportunity for us to bring and expand Oilers Hockey School.
I wanted to sign up because it's a good opportunity for hockey, get better, learn the sport.
Dry land's the best because we get fast. And
what? You mean meeting Louis was your favorite part of the camp so far?
Yes, it was.
Oh, right on.
I'm his number one fan.
The Oilers Foundation got group leaders from Fort McKay to come and help out as well. So I've been helping them out, and it's just been awesome. It's just a great environment for the kids. Everyone's having fun, everyone's laughing, and at the end of the day, everyone's learning and gaining skills to play hockey.
I'm wide open, I'm wide open, I'm wide open. Go, go.
It's been extremely cool to see just the amount of people that the Oilers Hockey School reaches throughout Alberta, the amount of kids that came from out of city to the one in Edmonton, the amount of people that are here in Fort McMurray. It's just amazing to see the amount of lives that it's touched.
For Oilers TV, I'm Jessica Kent.
Were your goal scorers through the opening 20 minutes, as we still have a 1-1 score following 20. Lots of waves behind us, and of course, hockey season is back. The young and old celebrating and cheering on their respective teams. Welcome to tonight's second edition of the Oilers Plus Intermission Report. Everyone knows Paige Martin. My name is Tony Brar. And listen, you already talked about Ty Emberson and what situation he's in, but Travis Dermott, Ben Gleason, Josh Brown, the aforementioned Ty Emberson, all in a similar situation in terms of vying for roster spots, not necessarily just on opening night, but making a case for some point during this season, Paige.
Absolutely, and I think that we've already seen that on full display, and I know that right now we're gridlocked at 1 apiece, but I think that what's important is the Winnipeg Jets were able to get on the board with 17 seconds within the game. Well, then the Oilers, they've been able to lock it down since, and that is in part due to their decor that they have on the ice tonight, and I think that's huge. They're locking it down in front of their netminder, and the fact that each of these players trying to showcase some of them jumping up into the play. We know Carrick recorded an assist on that first goal, or also just being able to lock it down and make sure that they have clean breakouts. It's the little things that add up in these preseason games that Chris Knobloch and his staff are going to be noticing and taking note of as well.
All right, let's take a look at the scoring summary in that second period. The Oilers continuing to outshoot the Winnipeg Jets 13-5 in that second period, 19-9 overall so far in this hockey game. As the Edmonton Oilers, of course, they're looking to break free from this tie break, and one man who could do it and has been all over the ice, this man, number 92 of the Edmonton Oilers, a great savvy pickup by the Oilers brass, in my opinion at least, this past offseason, because Vasily Podkolzin, yes, he had a little bit of a tough break when it came to his NHL games last year, but he had a pretty revealing and telling media availability earlier this week. Paige talking about how he needs to attack the game differently, simplify it, and utilize his speed a little bit more, and that speed will be welcomed in the bottom six for Chris Knobloch.
Absolutely. If you can help bring up the bottom six and also add speed, that'll be a huge contributing factor. And I like that, you know, we got a glimpse of Podkolzin in the second round against the Vancouver Canucks. Of course, he was wearing that blue jersey, but I think that what we got to see from him was he also brings an element of a physical play as well. He's going to get to those dirty areas. He's going to get in the corners in front of the net, maybe set some screens, and kind of be that dynamic player. You see that great opportunity that he had to set up Matt Savoy, and Matt Savoy was robbed a little bit there. But again, what a great offensive opportunity, and you can see these players starting to build chemistry with one another as well, which that's difficult. I mean, they haven't necessarily, met before training camp, and yet now they're here trying to build chemistry on the ice and get something going to be able to display what they can contribute offensively.
And the aforementioned Matt Savoy, also noticeable in that second period, now starting to get his feet moving, playing on his toes, and that's what makes Matt Savoy a great shifty hockey player. Let's take a look at the NHL out-of-town scoreboard. Lots of other action in NHL preseason as the Florida Panthers defeat the Nashville Predators in part one of a split squad. 3-2 the final over in Sunrise. 6-2 the final for the Philadelphia Flyers over the over the Washington Capitals, in the nation capital south of the border. The Oilers and Jets, of course, 1-1. The Bruins and Rangers 3-2 for the visiting New York Rangers. That one just finalized just moments ago as the Rangers come out with the victory. The Panthers looking to sweep the Nashville Predators with the split squad, 5-1 with 1:09 remaining in the second. 1-0 is the score, courtesy of the Devils captain Nico Hischier. He gets and outscoring them 1-0 currently on the power play there. Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg suiting up for the St. Louis Blues against the Utah Hockey Club over in Salt Lake City. 1-0 is the score after 20. And then games still to be have their puck drop, 6 p.m. puck drop for the Golden Knights versus the San Jose Sharks, as the Calgary Flames will take on the Seattle Kraken and close out tonight's NHL out-of-town scoreboard. Very quickly, Paige, what's maybe one thing you're looking forward to in the final 20 minutes in this one?
I'm looking to see who takes it upon themselves to make sure that their team comes up with a W, whether it's the Oilers or the Jets. I'm looking forward to seeing what line is able to create something offensively. I think it's of note that the Oilers were able to really push and put 19 shots on the board. They're going to continue to push and make sure that they're the ones that come up with a W, but I'm excited to see who kind of puts that responsibility on their shoulders.
Well, no matter what happens on the ice, that's your first star of the night. I'll be like the fourth star maybe. We'll see what happens all throughout the course of the next 20 minutes. Let's take a look back at the second period highlights.
Tell you, you my little boo thing, so I don't give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell 'em I'm next. Tell 'em you find a little something too fresh, I know. Oh, oh, got the best of mine. Oh, oh, got the best of mine. Oh, oh.
As the puck travels at high speeds and sometimes enters the seating area. Please keep your heads up at all times and enjoy the rest of tonight's hockey game. Fans, welcome back to the ice. Edmonton Oilers!
And a face-off win for the Edmonton Oilers James Hamblin, who streaks in left to right. This game tied at 1. Eric Comrie in net for Winnipeg, and Colin Delia has come on for the Edmonton Oilers. Just 7 shots faced for Rodrigue. He stopped 6. And a clear by Daniel Torgerson up to Janssen Fjallby. Puck cleared out of play. And 34 seconds into this third period, we'll get a neutral zone face-off.
So who's caught your eye so far, Jack?
Well, for me, the guys I'm trying to pay attention to, Podkolzin, and then you've got to look at Brown and Emerson, because those are the 3 guys you're anticipating being in the opening night lineup. Now, the one thing I've noticed on Podkolzin, even when he was struggling the last 2 years in Vancouver, he's not a guy who shies away from contact. He's not a perimeter player. He gets in on the forecheck and he hits. And I've seen evidence of that tonight as Kevin Heel be whistled for an icing call. And that'll come against the Jets. Gleason able to outrace Toninato and draw the face-off all the way back into the Winnipeg zone, opening minute third period. I mean, and as far as Brown and Emerson, they've looked as they should look in this type of game as players probably, you know, a shade higher up in the lineup than you'd expect. Logan Stanley has looked the same way for me against Winnipeg, just a little more polished, poised professionalism.
Yeah,
but I will concede what you say in terms of Edmonton's lineup on the back end filled with guys who can move the puck. And that's reflected in the numbers they put up in the American Hockey League over the course of their careers. I mean, Gleason, Dineen, Carrick are all proven American Hockey League point producers from the back end. Up the left-hand side, Josh Brown not able to get the puck out. He'll get a second look. Caught a glancing blow on Salamonson, and now a shot from distance from Parker Ford is easily kicked aside by Delia, who did not have a screen in front. Gleason eventually backhands it over to Josh Brown, who whistles one over the head of Dawson Barbeau. And yeah, that certainly looked like icing. They waved it off. Barbeau ultimately moved it up to Kapari, and he'll shovel it wide of the Oiler net off the rush. Taken by Stefan, but not out of the zone. Kapari drags it back to the middle of the ice, and he's drawn a slashing call against Edmonton. And this will be the first time the Oilers have been on the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill all night.
Well, that happens because, unfortunately, James Stefan
didn't get the puck out.
Turned the puck over. And Kapari, who had an injury-riddled season last year, tried to beat a couple men, drew a call.
So Carrick ends up taking the penalty. It's officially called a hold. And this Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. And there was a no-doubter as Carrick just reached up. That was a horse collar.
Made that one count, didn't he?
So that's an easy one. Face-off right side of goaltender Colin Delia, and immediately cleared by Emerson. And now a shorthanded chance for Kajula. Fleet of foot down the right-hand side. Coming over to erase the possibility was Kevin Heath.
Philp won another draw there, Jack. He's won 2 or 3 draws in important areas on the ice.
Philp out there on this penalty kill with Emerson, Dermott, and Kajula. Played around the boards by Winnipeg in the offensive zone. Torgerson carved out along the right half boards by Parker Ford. Torgerson pulls his way to the corner. Emerson picked it off and rifled it down the left-hand side. Good hard play in the corner.
Stopped the cycle. Nice play defensively.
Parker Ford hailing from Rhode Island. It's the first Rhode Island guy that comes to mind that played in the NHL, Bob.
Where's Brian Lawton from? Was he from Rhode Island initially?
That's a good question. It was not the guy I was thinking of. It's a colleague of ours. Does some impressions.
Brian Boucher?
Correct.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Over the line and offside, Jared Anderson Dolan will have a neutral zone face-off.
He's a very talented broadcaster as well.
3.5 minutes gone by here in the third period and 44 seconds left in the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. The Jets have not really gotten a good look yet on this power play. Again, about their top guys like Nick Ehlers, Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey. Should be too surprised by that development off the draw. A little bit of a reset as the Jets draw it back in their own zone. Grube and Brown pressure up ice, forced the puck loose at the blue line.
I feel shame.
Winnipeg knew it was offside, and the Oilers come over and Grube will slash it down the right-hand boards. Why, Bob?
Brunswick, New Jersey for Lawton, but I think he spent a fair amount of time in Rhode Island.
What, on vacation?
I don't know. That's what the Russian judge told, or the French judge told me.
You're never wrong. You're just different shades of right.
Oh, no, I'm wrong.
Here's Anderson Dolan.
But 4 or 5 times a show or a broadcast, Jack.
Trying to poke it free. Jilkin tied up in the corner, and that Winnipeg power play went by without real incident. A clear to center. But Colson stymied as they approach the Winnipeg line. Now Anderson Dolan. Soft backhand chip over to the left-hand side. This game still tied at 1. Emerson whistled off the boards, glanced off the side of the net, and that turns into an icing call against Matt Savoy and the Edmonton Oilers. 4.5 minutes gone by in the third period. And this is the first game of the preseason, so it bears repeating that someone's going to have to score to win this game.
Yes. Rick Bracey drafted the man who scored the goals so far. Of course, he took Sam O'Reilly, 32nd, Jack. He got a pretty good O'Reilly 33rd when he was the head scout of Colorado.
He didn't get a bad guy in rounds 1 or 3 either.
No, pulled off the trifecta in that draft for the Avalanche.
Duchesne, O'Reilly, and Tyson Barrie. How's that for
who I think
first
has
3 picks of a draft?
I think Tyson's got a deal in the drawer in Calgary. Wouldn't surprise me. He's in on a PTO. I could see them signing 1 year, $1 million at some point here.
Have you actually seen the deal in the drawer? I mean,
no,
that was pretty specific.
It wouldn't surprise me.
All right, Janssen Fjallby, that covered up by Colin Delia on the deflection. 15:02 to go in the third period.
Tyson's a hard guy not to like, as you know.
Well, an admired teammate and a guy who's now carved out a decade-and-a-half long career in the National Hockey League.
But the guy that replaced him on that Oilers power play, Evan Bouchard, all he's done in the last 3 playoff years is put up the 3rd most points in the NHL. The only 2 players that are ahead of him are on his team. One's called Connor and one's called Leon. And they traded all for a Stanley Cup, Jack.
Off the draw. Shot by Coughlin, disappears into heavy traffic. Savoy battling with Parker Ford. Punched away from Logan Stanley. The Oilers tried to catch the Jets, but instead inadvertently iced the puck. Hoffman was trying to lead a jailbreak, 2-on-1 up ice. Got knocked away, and Edmonton ended up icing it.
Do you remember when Hoffman was in Ottawa and Connor McDavid went from the left point to the right point and then walked down and walked Hoffman, who was in no man's land, like it wasn't his fault, where was the defense, and scored one of those goals.
Well, we were watching that game from Ottawa. If the one I'm thinking of basically came from the right half boards cut left, and all of a sudden the puck was in the net. And I don't think that's his most impressive move in Ottawa. I would say his most impressive move was the spinorama
on the PK
and the dish to McLeod.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice play too.
That I thought was as good a play as he's ever made. Here's a steal and a quick wrist shot taken by Hoffman, blocked away by Eric Comrie. Oilers control the puck, and drifting through the neutral zone back into his own end with a handoff to Brown is Mike Hoffman. Hoffman was part of that Ottawa club that was a goalpost away from going to the 2017 Stanley Cup final. 6 months later, the franchise was in total disarray, and the Senators weren't close to returning to the playoffs, let alone the Eastern Conference final. Someday a documentary will be compiled about that team. Delia up the left-hand side. Worked around the boards. Jilkin trying to hunt down a loose puck along the left half wall. Lopin unable to get a shot away and carrying it up ice, and eventually toward the net was Nickel. His shot deflected up over top off the plexiglass behind Comrie. Lopinen did not get it out. Jets struggle to maintain control of the puck. Edmonton's in the midst of a change, though, so wisely taking a skate to allow both teams to make changes will be Anhorn. Dylan Anhorn goes by the rule of 2. 2 years in the AJ, 2 years in the BCHL, 2 years at Union College, and the last 2 at St. Cloud. It's brought him to this point, the age of 25. Here's Gustafson into the zone. Shot from the point, whistled wide by Coughlin. Rebound Logan Stanley, left circle. Wrist shot covered by Delia. And with 12:46 to play in the third period, the Jets with a decent push to start this third period, but no damage inflicted on the scoreboard. The 2 goals came in the first 3.5 minutes. Gustafson for Winnipeg.
Hire Hunter for your next event or special occasion, or you can book Hunter for your very own cameo-style video greeting. Perfect for birthdays, wedding messages, or simply a gift for the big Oilers fan in your life. Scan the QR code on the video board to book Hunter, and make sure to follow along on Instagram at Hunter Oilers for his next adventure. Net proceeds from the Hunter appearances benefit the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation. Your attention, please. We have a lost fan. Excuse me, sir. Washington Capitals are not playing here tonight. In fact, they lost 6-2 to the Flyers in Washington today. Please be sure to return to Ice District January 21st when they are here to take on the Oilers. You can get your tickets for that game at edmontonoilers.com/tickets. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of tonight's game. And hey, let's go Oilers! To play. Third period, we are tied at 1. Face-off to the right of Colin Delia, and a shot from Torgerson does not squeeze its way through off the draw.
It's the second draw. Noah Phillips lost all game. He's 9-2 in the face-off, sir.
Stefan makes a knife play off the wall, and here's Phil breaking loose. Right wing centering pass, and unable to find it in his feet. Lavoie could not settle down that bouncing puck, and cleared by the Jets back through the middle. Or excuse me, Hoffman rather. But Stefan made the play off the wall, and Phil put it into a dangerous area. Now Phil nearly with a steal, but he's drawn a penalty. Phil anticipated a D-to-D pass from the Jets, stole the puck, and as he busted down the seam looking to cash in on the miscue, he was hauled down by Torgerson, and that was after Phil put it into the right area, and that puck just wouldn't settle for Mike Hoffman. And Edmonton unable to score off the rush, but now the Oilers will get an Atco power play, their second of the game, and Torgerson a no-doubter. Similar to the penalty that was called against Carrick moments ago. So now Savoy once again, Bob, appears poised to take the face-off here with Hoffman to his right, but Colson to his left.
Well, the Oilers have won about 70% of the draws in this game.
Gleason right point, and Lavoie in the high slot. Lavoie entrusted with knocking down the clearing attempt to the far side, could not do it, and Gleason will reload back in his own zone. Oilers on an Atco power play looking to take their first lead of the night. Dozen minutes to go, and it's 1-1. Lavoie twisting it around the boards, and no one was home for that one. That puck rolls all the way back into the Oiler end, retrieved by Hoffman. Lavoie, when he gets hot, pucks find the net. Here's Savoy, giving it up for Podkolzin. Shovels it over to Rafa Lavoie. Around Janssen Fjallby. Gets it back from Podkolzin. Whistles it across. Hoffman, a shot and a save made by a splayed out Eric Comrie. Rebound held in. Good work by Hoffman. Savoy gives way to Podkolzin around the boards. Lavoie, double team. Needs to move the puck. Stanley failed to clear. Savoy was able to bottle it up and then give it up. Sent out to Mike Hoffman, top of the right circle by Podkolzin. Gleason, one-timer coming, score. Lavoie from the top of the left circle hammers it home in Edmonton. Its first lead of the night.
Well, he's always been able to shoot the pill, Raphael Lavoie. He's got a heavy shot. And we haven't talked about him much being a potential guy that can make the Oilers opening day roster, because we're sort of thinking, do they maybe go 12 forwards and 7D? If they go 13 forwards, is it a Peterson or Hamlin down the middle?
He did get 7 games in the NHL last year.
And they liked him under Chris Knobloch when he got recalled. Got a game in Los Angeles, as you'd remember. And that time he did what he can do. He can shoot the puck.
53 goals his last 2 years in the American Hockey League. And Bob, as you know, I mean, he's had the odd cold streak in the minors, but when he gets going, you're talking a goal a game for 2 weeks at a time. Here's a wrist shot, score, and the Jets tie it right back up off the draw. It's Dominic Toninato with the equalizer from the top of the circles.
Well, Dominic Toninato is one of those 8 veterans in the lineup. This guy's played almost 200 games in the NHL. 184, and got into 15 games last year at the Jets. 20 points in 37 games in Manitoba, but he just ripped one home to the blocker's side on Colin Daly. If anybody's going to know Colin Daly, Dominic had his number there.
Set up by He, who just got to a puck simply off the draw, dumped in. He beat everyone to the puck from behind the net, threw it out into the high slot. Boom, it's in the net for the equalizer. Off the draw at center ice with the game now tied at 2. 2 goals in 10 seconds. That lead held up for all of 10 seconds. Lavoie had scored from Gleason and Hoffman. And then it was He with the assist on Toninato's game-tying goal. Dumped in by Edmonton. A clear by Bardot out towards center. Fired in by Connor Carrick. Dawson Bardot back on the puck. Another former Red Deer Rabel. Last 4 years bouncing back and forth between the American Hockey League and the ECHL. Now a puck cleared out of play into the Oiler bench area with 9:53 to play in the third period. We'll take time out. So you wait more than 2 periods for a goal, and then they arrive 10 seconds apart. Lavoie for Edmonton to give the Oilers.
Fans, we are so excited to bring you tonight's Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation 50-50 raffle presented by Rogers. Now, right now is a good time to go ahead and get out those tickets, because someone in here could be the lucky winner of 2 lower bowl tickets to the October 15th home game against the Flyers. Now, that current life-changing jackpot total is sitting at $71,000. And you know, it's still climbing. That draw is going to take place September 30th at 11 p.m. But right now, time to announce the winning number of those tickets to the game later in October. The winning number is C 100133872. Check those tickets if you're the lucky winner. Email 5050@edmontonoilers.com to claim your prize. And a huge thank you to everyone who purchased tickets and supported the draw. All right, fans. Now, it may be preseason, but there is no fan base that does it better than you. It's time for you to get up on your feet and start making some noise, because it's time for an Edmonton Oilers T-shirt blast!
Wrist shot off the post from Cam Wright as he worked his way down the middle, and Drew Iron. Now Jaden Grube with a wraparound effort, and that glanced off the side of the net and was cleared by Lopinen of Winnipeg. Back through the middle, Wright, who just hit the post for Travis Dermott. And the Oilers in a 2-2 tie scramble back to center. Dermott shoots it in. Round the boards, trying to hold on to it, William Nickel. Good work, but eventually curled away from him by Ben King. Josh Brown, right-hand side. Stefan gets it in deep. Brown, right point. Hoffman flubs a tough one-timer. That's Leon Draisaitl's office, but not necessarily Mike Hoffman's, at least at this point in his career. But a gifted goal scorer who had at least 20 for 6 consecutive years in the National Hockey League. Chipped in deep.
Complimentary finisher, Jack.
By Zhilkin.
That's what Hoffman is.
At this stage or in his glory years?
In his glory years. You need somebody to get him the puck, but you give him the chance, he can finish.
Hoffman to Phil. Well, he's not a guy who's going to necessarily generate his own shot, even in the best of times. On the move, in over the line, Podkolzin. Having said that, if you look at guys who've scored 20 goals at least 6 consecutive seasons heading into this year, it's not as big of a list as you might think. Podkolzin to the middle of the ice, Matt Savoy. Hard in on the forecheck, right corner. Pursuing is Hamblin. Clearing is Salamonson. Not out of the zone just yet. But Colson able to stick with it on the left half boards, and now Gustafsson has to come over for Winnipeg. Still tied at 2, 7.5 minutes to play in regulation. Each team has led, and briefly. Oilers' lead in the third period lasted all of 10 seconds. Torgerson makes a mistake. He was not at center and just fired it blindly into the zone. Dineen was already back for Edmonton, and it's an easy icing call against the visiting Jets, who this year have a new coaching staff with Rick Bowness having retired. Scott Arniel, who once coached the Columbus Blue Jackets when they were under the direction of Scott Housen, was their head coach for a year and a half exactly. Didn't have much success. Longtime NHL assistant coach and an American Hockey League head coach for a number of years as well.
Well, we know the input that Craig Heisinger, the assistant GM in Winnipeg that runs the Manitoba squad, has.
Stepping up is Cam Dineen. Longtime general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff. In fact, since the Jets returned for, as they once were termed, Jets 2.0.
And he worked for Stan Bowman, albeit only for a season. People forget that.
Connor Carrick to Cam Dineen. Now Carrick able to locate left-hand side. Rafa Lavoie, who scored on the power play to make it 2-1. It was quickly answered by Toninato. Middle of the ice, straight Caggiula could not get free. Oilers 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. Winnipeg 0 for 1.
Dermott's looked good, Jack, as a guy on a PTO in the back end.
Sam O'Reilly had it knocked away. Kevin He in from the left-hand side to drive from the point. A save made by goaltender Colin Delia. And the rebound lofted up ice by Ben Gleason. 6:20 to play in the third period. A steal by Cam Wright, a drop off and a return, and Wright's one-timer grazed the pads of Eric Comrie on its way by and wide. He the rebound up to Parker Ford and sent in deep. Back to get it. Brown, he thought he was held. Might have an argument. Zhilkin might have gotten away with one. Gleason, a spinning zone exit to center ice, and Cam Wright able to flick it inside the Winnipeg blue line as we approach 5.5 minutes left in regulation. Logan Stanley shoots it in. Lavoie after it for Edmonton. Lopinen couldn't get there for Winnipeg, and Josh Brown comes away with it for the Oilers. They'll return the puck to Gleason. And from center ice, Ben Gleason will dump it in. Leeson has played more than 350 American Hockey League games since getting a taste in the NHL with Dallas 6 years ago. Jets on a reset
Never
here.
say never. Remember the former Oiler that got.
I thought he was going to get a game last year. Remember, he traveled with the club for 3 or 4 weeks.
We had a guy last year to get in the lineup for Dallas that hadn't played in the NHL for about 4 or 5 years. Guy that played with the Oilers briefly.
Absolutely. Worked up the right-hand side and out.
Alex Petrovic.
Of course, a local product. Sent in right-hand side. Of course, when he was with the Oilers, grandfather was still alive, and we were told to call him Petrovich.
Yeah.
Up the right-hand side. Walton with a handoff and a shot deflected by Sautner. Rebound gathered by the Jets. Kept alive briefly by Anhorn, but the Oilers able to skate it out successfully to center. It's Noah Philp. Wrist shot off the rush. Rebound, and Philp denied on the doorstep by Comrie. His best save of the night.
Well,
Philp and Stefan set it up.
Philp made a great play in the neutral ice, and that created a 3-on-2, and they got 2 good cracks at it.
Stefan and then Philp on the rebound, robbed by Comrie with 4 minutes to play. And an offside whistled against the Jets, coming right to left with 3:56 to go in the third period. Eric Comrie, 24 saves tonight. None better than the denial of Noah Philp on the rebound moments ago. Still 2-2 in the preseason opener for the Edmonton Oilers. We're live at Rogers Place.
Fans, don't miss exciting Oilers hockey right here at Rogers Place. The Oilers will be back in action tomorrow when they take on the Calgary Flames. Puck drop is scheduled for 7 p.m. You can purchase your tickets for this game and any game this season by visiting EdmontonOilers.com/tickets. Fans, it's time for tonight's Ballard Lane Wine's top performer of the game.
Seconds to go in the third period. Game tied at 2. Action has picked up in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Winnipeg lost its preseason opener last night on home ice to Minnesota by a score of 5-2. Edmonton will be in action tomorrow, 7 o'clock against the Calgary Flames, and we expect a number of the Oiler elites to play. We'll have it for you on 630 CHED, the flagship home of the Oilers radio network, as well as 880. We're moving over to 880 full-time. Start of the regular season, October 9th, against these same Winnipeg Jets as the Oilers weave their way through the neutral zone. Josh Brown to Matt Savoy. Angled to the corner by Winnipeg goaltender Eric Comrie, and it's released to Toninato, who moments ago tied this game after Lavoie had briefly given Edmonton a lead with a power play one-timer. Toninato back to the point. Salamanson, wrist shot right circle, and a save made by Colin Delia, who thus far has faced 10 shots and stopped 9. Rodriguez started the game. The plan all along was for them to split. Rodriguez, a 4-year veteran down in Bakersfield, has won 43 games for the Condors.
Knobloch's got 2 right-handed centermen on the ice here for the D zone draw. Looks like
change it up.
Philp's going to take it, but he's got Grube up there as well.
Phillips had a good night in the circle. 3 minutes to go. Third period, we're tied at 2. Shots 26-17 Edmonton. Philp, who just got stopped point blank range by Comrie on a rebound, wins another face-off, muscles it back through center, shoveled back in by Ford, and now looking up ice, Carrick. And as he fired one through the middle, it went untouched, and that will be an icing call against the Oilers.
So Grube is a guy, he's 21. He's 3 years away, but there's something there with him, and I thought he looked better in Penticton this year. And it was
another Red Deer Rebel.
It was tough to tell, Jack, because the Oilers only had one drafted or signed defenseman play and a bunch of free agents.
In terms of getting the puck moved up to the forwards. They didn't play with the puck a lot in the opener, I know that.
And Vancouver had a very experienced team. And I fully expect a very different looking Edmonton team in the back end next year.
Those chances came in the Calgary game.
That was an entertaining game.
Off the draw, Jets working around the perimeter. Coughlin could not get a shot through traffic. And it's clear up the right-hand side. Nickel to Grube, and in deep behind the Winnipeg net. Comrie advances it through, left-hand side. Anderson Dolan streaking down the wing. Rasmus Kapart. Pair of former LA Kings on the ice. Walton engaged with Cam Dineen. Grube rolled it back over to Dineen, and it's easily punched forward and out by Cam Wright.
56, Nickel. This kid can skate, Jack. I know they got him late. Worth a swing, though. He can move his feet.
Logan Stanley spun away from the aforementioned Nickel, and now fired in by Sautner. Kajula rolled it across to Josh Brown up the middle for O'Reilly. He has one of the 2 Oiler goals tonight, and now Drake Kajula left wing, trapped in the corner. 100 seconds left in the preseason opener. Breaking loose, shooting LeBlanc. That was denied by Comrie. And the rebound came free to Janssen Fjallby. He's away. Tries to cut inside on Gleason. Guided to the corner by Delia. Centering past Torgerson. Intercepted by O'Reilly. Right spot. Good play there defensively.
Nice. He's a good two-way player. He's got good instincts.
Now breaking loose for a moment. Trying to untangle his stick was Lavoie. He had a good chance there. Stopped by Comrie, who's made a couple of nice saves here down the stretch, playing in his hometown. And again, the highlight of his NHL career was a 46 save masterpiece. Buffalo beat Edmonton a couple years ago in this building. And really, until last year, Sabres had the Oilers' number. Final minute, third period. Dump in by Winnipeg. Emerson reaches center, and now off to Mike Hoffman. He'll bump it down low. In the corner, Coughlin looks for a clear and gets some help from Toninato. Back to center, rifled in by Dermott. Around the boards, reaching forward is Hoffman. Angled off his stick by Logan Stanley. He'll shovel it up the glass. Did not get it out. Final 25 seconds. Hamblin under duress. 2 Jets draped all over him. Puck retrieved by Savoy. Blasted high and wide by Podkolzin. Rebound turned over. Shot by Carrick deflected. Stepping up Dineen. Final 10 seconds of regulation. Coughlin in a 2-2 tie up through center. A lunging Ford got a piece of it, but he was not yet at the red line. And so with 6 seconds remaining, we'll get one more attacking zone draw for Edmonton in regulation time. And then it'll be off to everyone's favorite in the preseason, OT. I thought Chris Knobloch might pull the goaltender, but no. O'Reilly will take the draw against Toninato. Kajula on his right, face-off win. Kajula's pass off target. Carrick a shot deflected wide at the horn. And we will settle this one in extra time. It actually worked out well, but the pass from Kajula across was slightly off target.
More time at the end of regulation. A 3-on-3, 5-minute sudden death overtime will begin shortly. Coming up, 3-on-3 sudden death.
extra men on the ice. Gustafson changes. Janssen Fjallby breaks loose, has a man, shoots himself, and a save made by Colin Delia. Toninato gives him a look as if to say, hey, I'm wide open in the right circle. I don't play a lot in overtime during the regular season either. Where's my feed? Janssen Fjallby elects to keep it himself, and Colin Delia able to make the save. And I think O'Reilly might have gotten back in time to disrupt a cross seamer.
That's the boy out. D-zone draws the right shot here with Olsen.
Against Toninato, who tied the game for Winnipeg in regulation. And he won the faceoff cleanly against Savoy. Cam Dineen is the third skater for Edmonton. Here's Toninato challenging Dineen. Dropping it off. Parker Ford, but Colson shadows him. Ford across. Coughlin. Ford, right circle. Coughlin among the leading goal scorers in the American Hockey League. But Colson a big hit on Ford, and that creates a potential 2-on-1. Lays it in for Cam Dineen. Cuts to his left. Dineen loading up, shooting and scoring. And the Edmonton Oilers win their preseason opener 3-2 in overtime. And it starts with a Colson hit.
Finishing hit there, no question. He personally stopped the Winnipeg opportunity, and Dineen's always had some offensive instincts, and he's had a heck of a game tonight. Set up the Sam O'Reilly goal on a brilliant stretch pass. The poise that he showed. Not a great goal against on Eric Comrie, be the first to tell you that, but nonetheless, victory for the Oilers.
3-2 in overtime. Edmonton outshot Winnipeg tonight 28-19. And they'll claim a 3-2 overtime decision. Dineen from Podkolzin at 117. And it's an assist on the sheet, and it's really an assist that'll show up in the hit column as well, as Podkolzin extracted the puck. And as Bob termed it, a finishing hit in every sense of the word, as it ends up finishing the game. Dineen cuts to his left, drags the puck all the way across the slot, and beats Comrie from the left circle. And Bob, I think I'd agree with you, that one on a night where Comrie played pretty well, especially in the third period down the stretch, to take his team into OT. That's one he most certainly would like a return engagement on. Raphael Lebois scored a power play goal tonight. He's with our Brendan Esca. Fans, here are tonight's most and 3 stars of the game. Tonight's third star from the Winnipeg Jets is number 1, Eric Comrie. Tonight's second star from your Edmonton Oilers with the game winner, number 85, Cam Dineen. From your Edmonton Oilers with a goal, number 72, Sam O'Reilly. Now down to Oiler TV's Paige Martin, standing by with number 72 of your Edmonton Oilers.
All right, Oil Country, first things first, you're looking at this year's first-round pick, and we were able to see him on full display. Let's give him a warm Oil Country welcome. Sam, not only is it your first NHL preseason game, but you also notched that first goal in an Oilers uniform. Take us through everything you felt today.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy seeing all the fans here and seeing it in real life. It's a little different than the video, and it's special to get a goal there in the win.
Absolutely. Now, I know you were told what Oil Country is like and how welcoming and loving they are, but what was it like actually playing in front of them this afternoon?
Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, I don't really have words for it still, but I mean, it's pretty amazing. You see all these people here. It's a preseason game, and they're cheering loud, and it's awesome.
Sam, welcome. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you.
There's Sam O'Reilly and Oil Country. What can you say? It's an overtime victory here at Rogers Place, and hey, welcome back. Hockey is here.
Right here, duck down, stay low. My job, one punch KO. Tell her ain't no way I'm running now. Ain't no way I'm running. Yeah. Right here, duck down, stay low. My job, one punch KO. Tell her ain't no way I'm running now.
So Riley down the middle, and he scores for the wrist shot, beating Eric Comrie, the 32nd overall pick, as his first as an Oiler.
You took a shot for the magazines, yeah. Another shot, John Kennedy. Why so upset? I ain't never let him touch you. Got us in the flesh, no BS, yelling what's new, shot it. Don't wanna party, meet me at the bottom. Buckle and break my hand. Right here, duck down, stay low. My job, one punch, KO.
Lamar from the top of the left circle. Anderson home in Edmonton. It's first clear tonight.
The Edmonton Oilers organization would like to thank
And you can see there in the final shot there, high fives all around, courtesy of Raphael Lavoie and the rest of the Edmonton Oilers. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Oilers Plus Live post-game show. My name is Tony Barr. Thank you so much, Oil Country, for making us a part of your Sunday evening as the Oilers, well, they open their 2024 NHL preseason with a 3-2 overtime victory over the Winnipeg Jets. The winner off the stick of defenseman Cam Dineen. Of course, he was excellent, had a 2-point night, was solid all throughout the 60-plus minutes here tonight. We will not be hearing from number 85 of the Edmonton Oilers, but instead, once again, from number 72. It's a trifecta. He had the Paige Martin bench hit in the pregame show, the Paige Martin postgame hit, and then